Morgan Mathis, it's awfully good to see you again.
Good morning, Carl.
Good morning. So many exciting things happening in 2025. You and I spoke a couple of weeks ago, and you told me all about the new recipients this year that will be honored in the Wilkes Hall of Fame. And I wanted you to come in and just share with us, if you can, who the recipients are going to be this year. And let's talk about the Hall of Fame and why it's so important around this inductee ceremony, because it's not just people being honored, it's also a fundraiser for the schools, right? And that's a special thing. Well, if you would, tell us who's going to be honored this year.
Sure. Our class of 2025 is going to be Glenda Adams, George and Ida Maude Collins, Mark Cook, Tommy Huskey, Gerald Langford, Dwight Nichols, Dwight Purdue, and Dr. Franklin Shepard.
Wow. Tell us how these names came to be on that list. Where do you get the names to where you can choose who's honored?
So the Wilkes County Hall of Fame Board relies on our community at large to nominate people for our Wilkes County Hall of Fame. And so all of these folks were nominated at some point or another. When someone is nominated, they stay nominated. And so we continue to review nominations every single year as a board. And our board comes together after our nominations deadline, which is November 30th of every year. And they come together, review all the nominations, and vote as a whole. And this became our class of 2025.
Oh, that's exciting. So it's no one ever is able to be in the Hall of Fame unless someone in the community presents their name, right?
Correct.
So what's that process like? Do they just send you the name, or do they have to prepare, a lot of information on why they should be chosen?
We have a nomination form, and it can be accessed on our Wilkes County Hall of Fame website. And it's a very short form. It just asks for typical information about that person. And then we also ask for supplemental materials as well that can be added to a nomination. That can be letters of recommendation, that can be newspaper articles, anything that tells more about that nominee that may not be listed on that nomination form.
Okay, so that's the process. So if someone's watching now and the list that you just read, it says, well, I know someone, they should honor them. Well, then you need to submit their name, right?
Yes.
And it's simple, just go on the website. All right, that's fantastic. Talk about the night and what happens during that evening. I know some of those people on the list, some of those people have sat in the chair you're sitting in now. And I can see why that they're on that list, and I think they should be honored just because of how we've gotten to know them. But I also know that, for example, Mark Cook and Gerald Langford, they're such humble people in the way that they serve the community. Is it often the case that people who are honored, and when they're receiving their honor, they're up there making their talk, do they say, I don't know why I'm here? Is that a common thing?
I think the inductees are so humble, they almost don't want to accept it at first because they say, I'm not deserving of this.
Right.
And they don't see themselves the way that the community does.
That's a good thing, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So how many people does it take to pull this off? I know it's a big event. The Walker Center, I think you probably have around 300 people coming to the event itself. Those people who are there, they're part of the inductees, they're sponsors, they're people who are supporting the cause. So talk about that and how people can become involved with the event and what opportunities are open.
So our 11th annual Induction Gala will be on Thursday, May 22nd in the Stone Center for Performing Arts. And that event is a very special night because it's a night that we celebrate those inductees and honor those inductees. We also have videos that are shown that night before each inductee comes on stage to accept their award. And those videos really give an in-depth view into that inductee's life and the impact that they've made on Wilkes County. And so it's a really special night. And so we invite individuals and businesses in the community to be a part of that event that night through sponsorship.
Okay.
Because the event is not just a night to celebrate our inductees, it's also a fundraiser for our grant fund for Wilkes County Schools. So we invite individuals and businesses in the community to be event sponsors or to be advertising sponsors. So we have many different levels for folks to choose from. For event sponsors, we have options as low as $600 all the way up to $20,000, and those options come with a certain amount of tickets to come to our induction gala.
Okay.
And then advertising options are available for folks that may not necessarily be able to come to the gala but still want to support the cause, and they can give us graphics or logos to include in our printed materials that are given to every guest in attendance that night.
Do you typically get good response?
We do. We do.
So every year that happens. Okay. All right. So when people are hearing this story, they're thinking, wow, that's a good thing, and they may know some of these people on this list. If they want to be a sponsor, or companies in the community want to be a sponsor, how do they do that?
They can contact me at Wilkes County Schools. We also have information on our Wilkes County Hall of Fame website. They can donate directly to us, or they can contact us about options.
Morgan, you've been in your position how long?
9 years.
Okay, so 9 years you have watched this unfold, right? Submissions coming in, choices being made. Share with us just a few of those memories that you have that have just, touched your heart in a special way.
I think the induction gala is just such a special night because the inductees are there with their families and with their friends, and they know a lot of the business supporters that are there as well. And I think the moment that they see their video for the very first time and seeing people interviewing about them and saying stories and why that they are so worthy to be in the Wilkes County Hall of Fame, it's just very touching to see it all come full circle that night.
Right. And River Street, they do the videos, right?
Yes, they do a fantastic job.
They really do good work. They have over the years in the community. So that's special. So some of these people, I would imagine, because I know the type of work they do, that it's the first time that their life has actually been captured in that way, right? So I'm imagining that's a humbling experience for a lot of the recipients.
It is. And another touching piece is we have a display case in the Stone Center, and each inductee comes in and they have their own slot in the display case that they get to set up all on their own with memorabilia, awards, anything that represents them. And to see all of that come together that night and get to view all of them in the case at the same time is also very profound as well.
So it's a heartwarming night.
It is.
Why is this important?
To see all of the people that are doing good for our community just lights a fire under you in a way to say, I want to do more for my community. I want to be more like them.
Because it's part of the school system. So you're in the kids business, right? You're in helping to shape and mold our leaders, our citizens of tomorrow, right? So how important is the Hall of Fame in that scope? Is the Hall of Fame open for school students to be able to come and see the exhibits and learn about these people?
Yes, we have started hosting an event in November every year called the James Cook Leadership Breakfast, and that is a way that we reach back out to students and invite every inductee that has been inducted into the Hall of Fame to come and participate in that. And then we also have students that volunteer with us the night of our gala, and so they're there watching and being part of the process as well.
Wow. Do you believe that influence, that experience, being in that environment, could that be life-changing?
Definitely.
Have you seen that?
Yes.
Yeah. You work with students all the time, right? Your job is to be out in all the schools. So, there's always talk about the good and the not so good, right? But if you were to put the scale down and you were doing that balance thing, right, of the good and not so good, what's coming out best, the good or the not so good?
The good.
the good. And you really believe that.
Mm-hmm. And I think when you put these role models in front of students and the students hear their stories and see their stories, it's inspiring.
Do you hear that from students? Do students actually have conversations with you of saying, wow, I didn't know that? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Does that make you feel good about what you do?
Definitely.
Yeah. So this year, 2025, because of the monies that were raised last season, right? Mm-hmm. Monies are given to the school programs. Talk about that for a moment.
So for the year of 2025, the Wilkes County Hall of Fame is actually giving their largest amount to date to Wilkes County Schools. And that is thanks to the supporters that we had for our gala last year. So they will be supporting 42 projects this year, totaling over $31,700. And those grants are given in specific areas. We support the areas of cultural arts, which would be art, music, band, drama, and physical education and athletics.
Okay. All right. So you're touching on a lot of the pieces of life's puzzle, right? Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad to hear the arts are in there and those creative things, but because it's that influence that will hopefully inspire some minds to do some of the work that you do in the future, right?
Yes.
You're going to need helpers, right?
Exactly.
You'll retire one day. How cool would that be for you to see some students this year and down the road they become involved and they work with you in the educational side? That's an exciting thing.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Have you had that happen yet, or gotten any indications from some of the students that this is something that they really enjoy?
So the cool thing for me, I have actually had student interns, and I have one this year, and I had one 2 years ago, and both of them are helping me with the Wilkes County Hall of Fame. And the intern that I had 2 years ago actually helped me with the program, the printed program that we handed out. And so what a neat project, because that student intern got to learn more about each of those inductees, because we put the biographies in the programs, and she got to come to the event with me.
That's nice. That's nice. Well, how many days? I know people are going to be seeing this at different times, but the event this year we're producing this at the beginning of February, and tell everybody when the event takes place, and then what are those things that need to happen right away? Getting sponsors. I mean, there's kind of a lineup of events that need to take place before the big night, right? Mm-hmm. So tell everybody what those things are.
So right now we are focusing on raising money for our induction gala, and that is through sponsorships. So right now we are accepting sponsorships for any of our levels that we have available. All they have to do is reach out to me if they have specific questions, and I'll be glad to help them in any way we can.
How do they reach you?
They can reach me through phone at Wilkes County Schools office or by email.
Okay. And then there's also a form on your website, right?
Yes, there is.
Okay, great. So lots of ways to get involved. This is exciting. So 2025 inductee ceremony is going to be fantastic.
It is.
Are you already making plans for next year?
Yes.
You never stop, do you?
No. We just want to make it such a special night, and so we do everything we can to prep beforehand to make it a special night for them.
Well, this is fantastic. It's so good of you to come in and let's share this with people. Hopefully, everybody who watches this, they'll say, I want to be involved, and your phone will ring a bit. That'll be a good thing. All right. Thanks a lot, Morgan. Great to see you again.
Thank you. Great to see you.
Thank you for spending time with us on Life in Wilkes. We value you as a viewer and appreciate when you share the show with your friends and family. Be sure to bookmark our channel and join us again on the next episode of Life in Wilkes.